Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to another brand new episode of Dunswell Zoo. This is attempt number 2. I laugh. I've just done the voiceover for this already. This is the second attempt because obviously I haven't recorded in like 2 weeks. I've been ill. Somebody, me, forgot to press record, so I've just been talking to myself for about 20 minutes. Anyway, welcome to another episode. This is going to be the brush-tailed bettong. Now, I had a very clear image in mind for what I wanted these habitats to look like. So initially it was going to be a walkthrough habitat, but then looking at how other zoos and wildlife parks kept bettong, it didn't feel very appropriate, and they are really quite small and quite flighty. I didn't want to subject them to that kind of stress. So we instead go with what you see now, which is 2 habitats, both showing very different biomes. One is sort of like a deserty shrubland. The other one is a forest. This one, I wanted a very modern, very sleek, very clean-edged sort of habitat. And unlike the other habitats, what we've done so far, this one will put the bettong sort of at guest eye height, which is what you can see here. There's rocks being put in for how high I want the ground to be, and then I raised that ground. We end up flattening it later on anyway. So brush-tailed bettongs, there are only 3 zoos in the United Kingdom that have brush-tailed bettongs. I've never been to any of them, so I've never seen them in real life, unfortunately. I watched some videos on YouTube though, and they're cute. They're like a cross between a really small kangaroo and a giant gerbil. That's what they remind me of. They're critically endangered. They're native to forests and shrubland of Australia. They were once widespread. There's now only 2 populations left in the wild, one of which is being monitored by the Department for Conservation and something or other. We'll get to that a bit later on. But most of the die out of the brush-tailed bettongs is because of habitat loss and the introduction of predators such as the red fox and feral cats. The population of brush-tailed bettongs are actually doing better in captivity than they are in the wild. Zoos in America have bettong. Zoos in Australia have bettong. Zoos in Europe have bettong. So the captive population is doing really well. I do wish it was a little bit more readily available. Both of the zoos I've been to, or the 2 zoos that I prefer to frequent, they don't have Australia sections. One of them has wallabies and a emu, but they don't really have Australia sections. The 2 populations in the wild, they're in. One of them is in the Upper Warren region, and that is being monitored by the Department of Biodiversity, Conservation and Attractions, and in 2021 their numbers have been rising, but of course fire regimes and competition for food and red foxes and feral cats, invasive species, these are all still major issues for this species. So the fact that they're doing so well in captivity is a good sign, because that shows well that the species stands a fair chance at recovering, providing that these invasive predators and other invasive species like the European rabbit that competes with the woylie for food. I prefer to call them the brush-tailed bettong, but they are also called woylie. We need to eradicate that. So we need to eradicate European rabbits in Australia, and we need to eradicate feral cats and red foxes and restore the habitat before we reintroduce the brush-tailed bettongs back to their native homeland, which is of course where they should be, as much as I would love to see them in zoos. They belong in the wild. So this habitat then, very sleek, very modern, very clean-edged. That's absolutely what I wanted to go for. It was a little bit of a pain in the arse. The grid system wasn't really working. You'll see me struggle a couple of times to get things lined up with the grid. I don't know what was going on. I still don't, but hey ho, we made it. And the notifications as well. A couple of times in the speed build, you'll see me check and uncheck certain boxes. Notifications are still coming through. I don't think they actually do anything for me. I don't know if it's something to do with the mods or I'm missing something, I don't know, but I can't seem to turn notifications off. Despite turning it off in the settings, the notifications still come through. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I do apologise for that. You can see that Ahuatsi, the bird's tapier, is about to mature. So quickly dipping away from this habitat then. This is one of the last few episodes of the Australia section. We've got the Takahe, or the Takahe, after this. Then we've got the food court. Then we've got the Wallaby Walkabout, and then we've got the Australian Sea Lion, and then it'd be the tour of the finished section. That's our first zone done, which of course leaves the rest of South America, all of Africa, and all of Asia. And I don't know what to do from that point. Do I continue with South America and then switch to either Africa or Asia, like we've been doing here, where I do so many episodes in Australia and then so many episodes in South America? Or do I start one of my other series and we'll alternate it like that? So you'd get 2 episodes of Dunzoll Zoo and 2 episodes of whatever the other series is. There are 2 other series that I've got in mind that you can see, just quickly diverting away. They do require long grass, the bettongs, so I flattened the ground out and put the grass under the rocks. In reality, that wouldn't work. The grass would just die out. But also in reality, they probably wouldn't have long grass in the habitat. Not in the ones I've seen online, anyway. Going back, there are 2 series that I've been developing, and they're at a point where I'm ready to show them, I think. They're like Dunzoll Zoo, you know, we'll be building stuff in speed builds and stuff like that. I don't want to give too much away. One of them is sort of exclusively British themed with a twist, and the other one is a bit more like a budget sort of city zoo, but not a full-scale city zoo, like a bit like Eastlake Animal Education Centre, what we was doing before. You know, we had a little different footprint, and we had access to a bit more area later down the line, and it was things like the lynx and the seal and your llamas and your alpacas and meerkats. None of the big hitters like lions and tigers and giraffes. It's your more sort of smaller, under the radar animals. So those are the 2 series that I've been developing. There is, of course, the Yorkshire Wildlife Park recreation. I am going to Yorkshire Wildlife Park in July. They've just opened a new area called Amazonas, so I'll get some new reference pictures and stuff from there. They have unfortunately now moved their armadillos, which I loved, and the Saki monkeys onto another collection, so don't have to build for them anymore. Yeah, so that will probably be starting at some point this year as well, but that won't be nearly as frequent as Dunzoll Zoo is. Dunzoll Zoo is every week at the moment, pending illness and busyness and stuff. But the Yorkshire Wildlife Park recreation would probably be once a month, something like that, or just as and when I've got enough progress to show. Whereas these other two series, they would be in the same sort of style of Dungeon Zoo. They would be, weekly or every other week. But we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, I'll mull things over of whether I want to stick in Dungeon Zoo as we have been doing or not. I'm going to finish it. Of course I'm going to finish it. It's just, do I want to do South America, Asia, South America, Africa, or finish South America and then whilst we finish South America, launch another series, and then when South America's finished, we do Africa, other series, or Asia, other series, stuff like that. I don't know. I'll think about it. Let me know what you think. I've talked for far too long now. I've waffled. So I'm doing the, I would say the indoor area, but it's all indoor. So I'm doing the behind the scenes area for the Betong, where they can get away from the public. Not that they would see them anyway, because it's one-way glass, but just somewhere to hide, somewhere nice and quiet, some bedding for them, some water, just a nice little relaxation area that's not sort of busy. I had some real issues with this. I don't show it in the speed build because it took me ages to figure it out. I build the openings exactly the same size as the ones in the other habitat. For some reason, these ones, only one of them would allow the Betong through. The other one said it wasn't traversable. And it took me ages to figure out why, when they was both the same size. And to this day, I still don't know what was up with it. All I did was move a few pieces around and rotate a few pieces, and all of a sudden it started working. I can't tell you what the solution was, but there we go. So unlike the other habitat then, this one is sort of a forest floor. So there's lots of ferns and lots of bracken and fungi, which Betongs are fungivores primarily. The most of their diet is comprised of fungi. So it's going to be great for that. And there are some big fir trees, because obviously you want to give the illusion that it is a forest floor, and not all the trees are going to be like guest height. So we put some fir tree trunks in there, like we did with one of the kiwi habitats, just to give the illusion that it's a sort of like a cross section of a forest. And rather than going for completely nocturnal lighting in these two habitats, we have gone for a sort of sunset lighting, I call it. Excuse the motorbike. I think it works better as a sort of sunset lighting. It sort of shows the Betongs off more, lets the colours of the rocks and the fungi sort of bleed through a bit better. Now you can see here I'm putting a custom backdrop in. For this one I'm just reusing the Qual backdrop and just sort of lining everything up, trying to avoid some Z fighting, and settle on that. And then the other one I have to do a completely custom backdrop. I'm getting better at them. I am getting better at them. They're still very finicky and a little bit of a pain in the bum, but I'm getting better. It's just setting the footprint up here, very poorly might I add, and connecting everything up so it's a nice habitat for them. Put the staff door in, and then I think I'll go ahead and start putting some of the rocks and planting and tree trunks in. Yep. So I will leave you to watch this part of the speed build in relative silence. There'll be music, of course, but you won't have my voice. And I shall see you in the live section in about a minute. So enjoy. Welcome to the live section, everyone. You'll see we've got a couple of issues already. This isn't lining up. I need to sort that out. And for some bizarre reason, we've got some Z fighting going on here. I'll see if I can do anything about that. It's weird. It stops the closer you get. And the further away you are, the worse it is. I have no idea what's going on. So welcome to the Sunset Hall. Very different, as you can see. I've been doing a lot of work on this. So we've got our 3 exhibit species over on the left here. So we've got our Summit Eastern Brown Snake, is it? Yeah, Eastern Brown Snake. Blue-tongued Lizard. Eastern Blue-tongued Lizard, yeah. And then Common Death Adder. Yes. So you can see the Death Adder here. There's 2 in each box. I don't think we stand a chance of seeing the other one. Oh, we've seen one. That's something. There's one of the lizards there. And the other one's on the trunk there. And then the brown snakes. There's one there. And again, I don't think we stand a chance of seeing the other one. And they, of course, have their own donations. And then we have quite possibly my favourite piece of custom education I've ever made. Which is, where's Woylie? So, brush-tailed bettongs, also known as woylies. It's a species of bettong that's been exterminated from almost all of its historical range over the last 150 years. Remnant populations have crashed in the last 2 decades. Dunsville Zoo and the AWC, the Australian Wildlife Conservancy, protects almost 10% of the world's remaining brush-tailed bettong population, with important populations living within feral, predator-free areas at Karakamaya, Scotia, Yookamurra, Mount Gibson, and New Haven. And you can see where those are here. So Yookamurra, Scotia, Ngalurutju, New Haven, Mount Gibson, and Karakamia. And there's Frank. How do, Frank? And then we've got brush-tailed bettong, also called the brush-tailed rat kangaroo, and Woylie is a small, critically endangered bipedal marsupial native to Australia. They have prehensile tails and are prodigious diggers. They have relatively large eyes, which you can see, and round ears. Males and females are similar in appearance. Males are typically slightly larger. The fur is dense and long. They're normally buff grey to greyish brown on their backs and flanks, and very pale underneath. One of the species' most notable features is the black crest of fur that extends from the tail. You can see it on the drawing down there. See it on the picture up there. They're completely bipedal, so they don't walk on their little arms, if you like. Excuse me just a moment, I've got something in my eye. And that's a cough. The hind feet are longer than the head of the animal. They use their front feet for digging. They're native to Australia, formerly ranged across most of the Australian mainland, existing in over 60% of the country. Today it's just a handful of nature reserves and the southwest of the country. There's also some translocation attempts in South Australia and New South Wales that have been met with mixed success. They prefer desert grasslands and forests. However, today they live only in forests, woodlands and eucalyptus scrublands. And that's what we've tried to recreate here. So we've got the sort of scrubland, sort of eucalyptus scrubland over here. And then we've got the forest in the next one. over here. You can see the lights are in. It looks very different from the last time you saw it. I think we can actually see some of the betongs here. So they are fungivores, so there is some fungus in here. There's some at ground level. And we've got one on the tree over there. And they can traverse most of this habitat. They can't get on the rock at the back. They can get on this one, but not that one. And then this one, again, most of the habitat is traversable. But this is sort of guest eye view for the betongs, for which I don't think we can actually see any, which is ironic. They have just been fed, so it's not too bad. If I press play, they'll probably appear. But yeah, so this is pretty much exactly what I wanted it to look like. Then we've got the different betongs of the world. So you've got the brush-tailed betong, which these are placed roughly where they're found. Burrowing betong, northern betong, the rufous betong, and the eastern betong. And we have a beautiful painting of the brush-tailed betongs. We have some education here. Still need to do something with this, still need to do something with this. And then we just have the same two down there. And the staff only section. We do have an educational talk for the betongs. And you'll see there's also these tubes everywhere. We'll get to that in just a second. And we have the exit here. And the staff would just come down here, go through this door, go through that door, and then you got staff access back here. So it's turned out pretty much exactly how I wanted it to. I'm not 100% happy with the lighting, but there isn't much I can do really, given the lighting options in the game are actually quite limited, and this should be lit up technically, but it's not. Even though we're indoors, the game still recognizes it as daytime. So there's that. We'll just hop in here actually really quickly. Yeah, they're all at the back, look. They're all back here. So this has got that little dip, that little slope. It's the only way to have the staff access without raising the entire... Oops, I need to sort that. Without raising the entire habitat. And then, of course, we've got custom background here. So you'll see, unlike the other one, I'll hold my hands up, I'm not perfect. There are some seams on this one. There's one there. You can't really see that one, to be fair. There is one here, but that can't really be helped because there's a slight overlap because of the size of the habitat. And then there's one here, which I've stitched up as best as possible with these ferns to sort of cover it. And it works! You know, you don't really see it from back here. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. But, not to blow my own trumpet, this entire building really comes to life at night. So I thought it's about time, you know, we put the roof on, we got the lighting in. So I'm going to show you, okay? And bear in mind, I wanted it to be very sleek and very modern and very fresh looking. So this is what I've gone for. Ta-da! So we've got some oranges and some reds in here because this is, of course, the Sunset Hall. So this is what the exhibits look like. Initially, they did have blue lights in them. But it looked weird because the basking lights that are in some of them, you can't change the colour of them. So I just went for reds. So that's what these look like. The only downside is you can't really, you can't really see the different, from here you can. You've got red, orange and orangey yellow. But like face on, you can't notice that much difference in the shades of the backing. A little bit dark in some of the corners. Might need to put some lights in there. Put some lights around the education and stuff. Maybe bring these down a bit more. So a little bit more at height level. Person level. I love that these are sort of really bright and lit up. You can't change the colour of the light on the torque point either, unfortunately. But we'll just stick with this one for now, and I'll hit play. Let's just see if any of them come out. So you can see there's like a bluey, there we go, there's like a bluey backdrop, and then you've got the orange. And if we actually step inside, this is what it's like inside. So you can see we've got the beton here. Oops. Look at them. They're adorable. See, I wanted sort of sunset, dusk sort of environment on both accounts. Originally, I was going to do a sunset for this one, and then next door was going to be a twilight forest. But I decided, after doing the other lighting, that sunset works better for both of them. Have any more come out, or is it just that one? I think it's just that one. The only thing I don't like is, for some reason, the LED tubes, which are around, they're on the roof, and they're around sort of the doors and the education boards. They bleed into the actual habitat, and I don't know why. I think it's just a game issue. Lighting isn't handled very well in Planet Zoo, I will say that much. So we'll race over to the next habitat. So again, still betons, but this one's a more sort of sunset forest. And they're all over at this side. I don't know if you can see them. Just sort of down here. So they've got the fungi as well. They've been fed. There's one over at the back there. Might just need to cover up the grass a little bit. I think they're really cute. I like them. So it's 2 breeding groups. They're not at the maximum capacity yet, so we can have some more. So the viewing opportunities will be better. You can have, I think it's 1 male and 9 females. I've only got 1 male and 6 females in each. So definitely we can still have some more. And of course, the more animals you have, the more chance there is of seeing one. So yeah, this is what I've been doing while I've been ill. I've been working on this and doing maintenance across the zoo. So the dingo habitat has received an update, but I'm going to save that for the tour of the completed Australasia section. The emu and kangaroo habitat needs updating. Guanacos had a complete redo. Mara's had a complete redo. Sloths had an upgrade. Anteaters have had an upgrade. Well, complete redo and upgrade. Coatis, same story. Rhea, same story. Chacon peccaries are fine. Yeah. So, do you know what? Let's be a bit cheeky. I'll show you a sneak peek. So we're going back outside in the next one, which is the Tarkahe. Not nocturnal, so they're not inside. Here's the Kiwi Hall. Look how good it looks. It looks a little bit like a nightclub. I'm not completely against that. I think it looks great. So you can see we've got, this is all illuminated and it looks really cool. And I've got the cafe in as well, Cafe Kiwi. I've got male and female toilets. I've got Kiwi education. Just head in here. Yeah. Look how good it looks. So yeah, I've been a busy little bee. Again, some of it's a little bit dark, so it might need some lighting over here to read the education. But we have kiwis in here. It's just at the back there. They have had chicks, or a chick. So I don't know how good of a chance we stand seeing one here. Let's try the next habitat. There we go. There's one plodding around. Yeah, they've had a chick. So evidently we're doing something right. My only issue with the LED lights is that they create this glare. That's my only issue. You can see it there on the roof as well. These like dots. That's my only issue with the LED lights. But look, there we go. There's the chick and there's one of the parents. Look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Look at him. So, this is the Kiwi Hall. I've got Cafe Kiwi in the corner over there. I'll just give you a very quick sneak peek in the qual area. This is the least finished of all of them. So, that's why I'm only showing you. Oops. What the hell's happened here? I appear to be stuck on something. What is happening? Let me down. Let me down. Right, you can see I've got to do something with the roof because it looks a bit crap. Kiwi Hall. And then very quickly, this is the qual area. So I've got some weird lighting issues down here. You can see it's like pixelated. The closer you get to that, it sort of disappears. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, none of the education's done down here yet. Oh, look at that. The bush-tailed Batong are expecting offspring already. Yeah, they've got this like Twilight Foresty sort of vibe going on. I really like it. It does look quite cold, but it won't be. You can see them down there. They've had babies as well. Let's have a look in the next habitat over. Got one using the climate enrichment. It's really fun. Oh. That's a good point. We won't finish the episode yet. We'll make a bit of a bumper one because I've got some stuff to show you. So this is what I've been working on. So it's not 100% done yet, as you can see. There's still some education missing and a few bits of lighting what needs doing here and there. But for the most part, it's ready. So between now and the end of the next episode, which is the Taka here, I'll have done everything I can do with that. And then of course you exit. Your Australasian adventure continues. And then you would have, or you will have, your Takahita to the left, food court straight in front of you, Wallaby Walkabout after that, and then the Australian sea lion after that. And that completes the Australasian zone. But let's take it to day. So you saw there that oh god, Jesus, right. There we go. Aurelius, the spectacled bear, is about to mature. Let's go to our Andean bears, which are over here. So, whilst maintenance may has been going on, of course, been upgrading habitats, and why haven't the textures loaded in for this? Time climbing off on all them. I'll do that in another thing. Is it because it's... Huh. I have no idea why the textures aren't loading for the fur rocks. Anywho. Yeah, obviously maintenance may has been going on, been doing upgrades across the zoo. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen all of them so far. If you follow me, if you check your community tab on YouTube, you'll have seen some of them what I've posted, but that's not even half what I've posted. I've done loads. We have experienced some loss, unfortunately. And you'll see there are two names here, which is Andes and Nakara. Now, Nakara actually passed away a few episodes ago. Andes and Nakara were, of course, our original Andean bears from the initial version of Dunswell Zoo. So they were brought over here, and they were placed into the retirement paddock. And they had a daughter who was named Inca, and she's actually next door, and she's doing fine. I'll show you her in a moment. But Nakara passed away a few episodes ago. Andy's actually passed away on the 22nd of May. So that just left their child, which is down here, which is Aurelius. Aurelius is actually Inca's brother. So we can't put Aurelius and Inca together. So Aurelius is going to stay in here. And we'll just keep Aurelius until he gets sent off to another collection for breeding purposes or something. In the next door paddock, we have... This is yet to be done. But in the next door paddock, you can see that we have Inca, which is our female. If we just go on to... so Aurelius is her brother. Andes and Nakara, her parents, unfortunately passed away. And her mate is Yumak. But she actually had 3 cubs. So we've got Cub 1, who's all the way back here, exploring with the bamboo feeder. We've got Cub 2 and Cub 3. So we've got a boy and 2 girls. They will need some names. So please leave your names in the comment section below. That's 2 girls and a boy. So what I'm thinking is, how old are these? 2.5. Okay, so they're not as old as Aurelius yet. These will be ready to move into this paddock by the time Aurelius gets sent to another collection for breeding purposes. So we need 3 names, 2 girls and a boy, preferably South American themed, for the spectacled bears. And sticking with South America, if we just head over here a little bit, you will see some of the new and improved habitat. but I'll show you them in a tour properly. Go past the sloth habitat. Yes, we know. And we arrive at the anteaters, which have also been revamped. So you can see that there's now anteater adopters. We've got Aubrey Chaston, Samuel Edwards, Andrew Norman, Emma Goodwin, Nancy Jones, Bernie Goodwin, Tiffany Summers. So we've got 2 females in here, and in the other enclosure there's 2 males. Unfortunately, there's a baby as well. Joawa. Unfortunately, Eduardo, who was our original male from, I think it was Eastlake Animal Education Centre, and then we moved him over to Dunswell Zoo, and then obviously there was the issues with the map, and then we moved him to this version of Dunswell Zoo. Eduardo has also died just the day after Andy's. So, bit of sad news there. Death is a part of life, unfortunately. We've had many Coati die, we've had many Chicoan peccary die. The Guanaco still doing alright, the Rhea still doing alright, the Mara still doing alright. We've had a couple of bush dogs die. Don't want to show you too much of the revamped stuff though, because spoilers. So yeah, we'll finish this episode off with some good news. Let's go and look at those wonderful little brush-tailed bettongs. And I have no idea why the textures aren't loading for this faux rock pack. That's bizarre. How bizarre. Why is it going so slow? Got number 1. Number 2. And then of course we head to A Night Down Under. We go in. Welcome to A Night Down Under, let your eyes adjust. We've got a new thing here. So Dunswell Zoo is proud to work with these organisations across Australia and New Zealand. And you can just take a quick look there. So let's head over to the bettongs and we'll end the episode there. Thank you for watching either way. I hope you've enjoyed. Feels good to be back. I shall see you all next time for the Takahe habitat. And then, yeah, after that it'll be the tour of the Night Down Under. So I shall leave you with this wonderful little Woylie, which will probably hop away as soon as I start saying my goodbyes. So thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit that, let's see what I mean. I can predict what happens. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It really helps me out and helps the channel grow. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at JW_YT. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay kind, and I shall see you all in the next episode. Bye bye for now.